This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store, Forged Irish Stout, freebets.com. Delighted to be joined with the Don from Donington, Liam Davies, fresh off of a big win this weekend against Erik Robles. I suppose, how are things? It seems like you're in a nice sunny area, so it can't be too bad.
Yeah, come away on holiday. First year anniversary, married on Sunday. So, like I say, done the business and enjoying a few days in the sun.
I can imagine now, yeah. It's been a good couple of weeks for you then.
Yeah, it's been a great start to the year. Nice little break now, and then back to cracking on and carry on with another big fight soon.
Absolutely. Sorry, is it right if you just move your camera up a little bit, just so it shows? Oh yeah, that's perfect. Perfect. Cheers. I was going to say how sort of suppose it's been a week now. Well, I suppose it's been a couple of days actually since the Robles fight. Looking back on that now, or however long it lasted, how happy were you with your performance, especially in one of the biggest fights in your career so far?
Yeah, it come brilliant, really. Shots we worked on worked brilliant. The uppercut that I caught him with, you can see actually me and my dad doing it on the pads before we went out. So yeah, really happy. And like I say, thanks to my team who got the game plan perfect once again, and on to the next.
Was there any surprise in you that you got it done so early? Robles, we know how tough he is and how I suppose we saw how good he was against Lee McGregor. So was there any surprise to you that I suppose you were able to get the job done so quickly?
Oh yeah, of course. I walk into these fights expecting the hardest night of my life and prepared to walk through the fire. And I thought Saturday night might have been that time that I had to for the first time in my career, and it worked out perfectly. No cuts, scratches, or bruises. It went early, and I think it's just shown once again, as I have previous, I've improved. Got a great team around me. I'm eager to learn. I'm dedicated to boxing, and I give boxing my everything. And Saturday night with performances like that, you just stop and think, bloody hell, it's all worth it, and you do it again.
You just mentioned there about you feeling like the first time you may have to walk into the fire. What was that feeling like? If you could sort of suppose open your mind a little bit to the feelings that you was feeling before the fight when fighting someone like Robles.
Yeah, well, the Mexicans and just watching his previous fights, I knew he was very game and tough. So I was trying not to get into a firefight with him, but I went in there in the ring believing that I can hurt anyone, as I said in interviews and stuff before. I've shown my level. I believed I belonged to that level. And even though they say about the IBO title, this, that, and whatever, it's a world title still. And it was getting my foot in the door to the title was irrelevant, really. It was just beating people like that. Like I said before the fight, if I can't beat Erik Robles, really, then I didn't belong at that level. And I think I've proven to everyone, which I knew in my own heart, that I'm a world level fighter.
Yeah. Is there ever part of you that compares it to, we saw what Robles done to Lee McGregor in the fight that he had, and then you sort of compare it to yourself where it's like, this is what I can do. Lee McGregor lost to him, but for me, I've knocked him out inside sort of 6 rounds. So do you ever sort of look at that comparison when it comes to domestic roles of what you're able to do compared to potential other rivals as well?
Yeah, I don't really think about anyone else, to be honest. This is my journey and my time, and I felt like before I was different, and I feel like I'm showing the public now that I'm the best out of the bunch we've got in Britain. There's no question marks over that anymore, and I always believe that from the start. So yeah, he's had some good wins going into it. I thought this, like I said, might be real tough, but I was prepared for whatever he brought, and I went in there full of confidence, knowing this is my time. Some things I said before, some things are meant to happen. Like go back years, my great granddad got my granddad into boxing. My granddad had a box, want the best. Took over the amateur gym. My dad boxed all his life, was professional, didn't quite make it, and then felt like it fell on my shoulders, and I was happy to do so.
And you look at the recent run that you've been on. I suppose I could say a recent run, but throughout your whole professional career, you've been on a great run anyway. But especially recently, you think about the wins that you've got when it comes to Beluta, Jason Cunningham, and you look at now, especially in the last year or so, or 18 months. What do you think has been the secret to Varsity getting better and better almost every fight?
I take these fights and I go back in the gym like a novice, absorbing everything my coach has got to say. I feel like I got a great team. Strength and conditioning from the start with Simon Baverstock has helped me tremendously. I can see the differences in the gym. My dad, Andy McFarlane, and then I go to BCB and train with like Ben Wilkes, Errol Johnson, Paul Mann, all the guys down there. The people I'm around, Tyler Denny, Zach Parker, we're all in the gym together. Another guy, Elliot Whale, and it's healthy competition. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's trying to be the top guy, and I feel like being in that environment has pushed me on so much. So very lucky in that aspect.
I just wanted a word on Errol Johnson there, because when it comes to, I did see he was nominated for Trainer of the Year, alongside I think Shane McGuigan and Ben Davison, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, I don't think he did end up winning the award, but good to see that he is also getting recognised as among some of the top trainers in the country.
Yeah, he deserves it. You got to think that Errol Johnson, right? And they're great coaches, Ben Davison, Shane McGuigan, they're great coaches. Yeah. The only difference for me is why this man is just more special. One, I got obviously a soft spot for him, how much he's done for me. And I can, all I'm going to say is he's done things for me in the start of my career that you wouldn't expect anyone to do, not even a friend, and show me support, never mentioned anything. And I owe him a lot. But get back to the greatest coach. I think he's the best in Britain. And people might think I'm just saying that, but this is my analogy on it. Errol Johnson gets people, not ABA champions, no Olympians, nothing like that. He don't get the best fights. He brings them through like me. I started out in Holiday in Birmingham in 2018, December. From nothing, I want the best amateur. I wasn't this, that. And he's brought me through to where we are now. He's done the same with Tyler Denny, Zach Parker, many other fighters. So he ain't getting them half taught already. He's starting from scratch. And that's why I will stand on saying he's the best in Britain.
Yeah. And when it comes to yourself, Liam, in your professional career so far, you've only had 16 fights, which people would find sort of a bit crazy to consider how much you've achieved so far. Do you feel like you've reaped the rewards and had the benefits of being moved quickly in your career? I think you had an English title fight in your 8th fight, I'm pretty sure. And then I suppose from since then, it's been, big fights all the way since. So do you feel like you've had that benefit from having the hard fight straight away?
Yeah, definitely. My first fight, the guy I fought first, I can't remember his name, but I was seeing people was fighting him when they was 10-0. And me and Errol, we laughed about it. Yeah. So I'm like, bloody hell, you got me on his first one. And that's how we started off, straight in the deep end. And we've carried on swimming further and further out and shown that we're strong enough to be where we are. But yeah, I feel like that's what these young prospects should take out of, if they look at me, you jump in the deep end. And I know you don't always want to take a gamble, but you're either good enough or you're not.
Yeah, for sure. And so keeping it on yourself, Liam. Just recently, I suppose a couple days ago, Dev posted a video of yourself. I suppose back about 4 years ago in 2020. I suppose doing the bins. I suppose when times were tough. I suppose running around doing the bins and that, and to see the position you're in now from then. Do you ever have like a pinch yourself moment to realise how far you have came?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I'm just a normal kid up in the council estate who had high hopes of doing something in life. It wasn't always straightforward, and I was close to walking away from boxing, especially when 2020 I'm working the bins, earning like 300 quid a week. Just about my wife, who I'm with now, was lucky she had cut hair and she was bringing the money in, really. She was the breadwinner. So people like herself, who's been around me. My dad helped me out. I've had to beg and borrow on the way because boxing don't unless you're Olympian or a star, you don't start off with much. So it motivated me, and I wouldn't want to change the way it started because it built hunger in me that still burns now. So yeah, I'm happy with the way it started. I was happy on the bins, grafting. Think memories. I look back now and laugh. And me and my wife actually sat down and said, we remember Kane Baker. He had a good fight and earned some good money. And he told me it like in 2020 what he had. And I ran back to my missus and told her, like, we couldn't believe it. Do you know what I mean? And now we're in a great position ourselves. So it's funny how life works out, and it's not been simple, but I'd do it all again for sure.
I was going to say there, you said that it installs like the hunger that burns inside you. So you attribute, although they may not have been, you said you do it all again, and they may not have been, the happiest time for yourself, and they may come from struggle, but you understand, but for yourself, you understand that struggle has almost built you who you are today.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Like the struggle I went through, I know what it's like, and I can relate to a lot of people in life because I've been there, struggled, had nothing, and I've pushed for better, and thankfully it's paid off. But yes, I'm glad I've seen both sides. I keep saying before this fight and leading up, going into this fight, I've been at the bottom. Now I want to see what it looks like, life looks like at the top, and yeah, we're not far off now.
I suppose we will get into that. The top is not far off at all. I mean, it's only right to talk about what is next. And you spoke about, give me any match and fire, I'd smash them up. We know that Frank and Eddie are very sort of friendly now. Ideally, maybe a spot on the 5v5 with what you would want to aim for.
Yeah, oh, definitely. I'd love to be on the Saudi one, and I see Matchroom have a few at my weight. So yeah, it's great, and I feel like I deserve something big, being in Saudi or a big name, because I've worked my way up. I've shown I'm above these British fighters and European fights. So yeah, a nice big name would do, or a trip to Saudi would be a great memory. But that stuff's out of my control. So all I can do is sit here and hope. But either way, I'm going to keep winning, and they ain't going to be able to deny me. So
I suppose, is there anyone that particularly be interested? I remember you talking about a previous amateur fight with Shabaz Masoud. He's obviously on the Matchroom side. There's also Ahmed Daliev as well, who's obviously high up in the world rankings in a sense. So either one of them two would be the ideal pick of the bunch for you.
Yeah, of course, either one of them. Either one. I believe I beat both of them. Guessing they're going to think they beat me, which is fine. But yeah. But I feel like I'd love the Shabazz one, and it makes sense in Saudi. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
That would make sense massively. So yeah, they asked me to do that. I'm well up for it.
And just a final one from me, away from, I suppose, Matchroom fighters, but is there anyone ever you look at on a domestic scene in-house with Queensberry? We know that you are a super bantamweight, and there's obviously Dennis McCann that's always there, and I suppose you would probably say at the moment you're probably above Dennis McCann, but would you ever sort of envisage a potential move up to featherweight? We know Nick Ball is obviously at Queensberry, and he's doing big things at the moment. So do you ever envisage potentially that fight as well?
Yeah, they're all possibilities, aren't they?
Yeah.
And if they can happen, like if they get offered and they make sense, I'm sure my manager and dad will be like, yeah. I try not to focus too much on that side, because I see a lot of boxers try and get too involved and stuff. I've always grew up, and my granddad say, you fight in this state, you daren't ask who. He tell you shut up. Do you know what I mean? You just make sure you're there. So that's from young. It's always been installed. I always just say when, and let me know what time I need to be there, and that's it really. Everything else is not something I want to get involved in, but they seem to be making right decisions. I've got my full trust in Errol Johnson and my father. So yeah, whoever it will be, I can't wait.
Absolutely. Liam, just want to say thank you for taking time to be here. Appreciate it whilst you're on holiday as well. So I hope all the holiday goes well. And it's always good to catch up with you, mate. Top man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You.
And can I just say as well?
Yeah, of course.
One thing I have been very lucky with, and probably my greatest achievements. All the people, if you're there Saturday, you can hear them, and
yeah,
they've always backed me, as I said, from the hotels and Walsall town halls
yeah,
to where we are now. And yeah, I want to thank them and my sponsors, because they helped me get off the bins and made it possible for me to chase my dream. So thank you guys, because without these kind of people, the support of the friends and family, I don't say fans, come to watch me, and the sponsors backing me, none of it would be possible. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, Liam, top man, mate. Appreciate it. Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
mate.